Good day, everybody, and welcome to Rapid Chats with Angus. Today, I have a special guest in the house, or in his house, for instance, and his name is Ryan Oosthuizen. Some of you guys might know him, Springbok Sevens forward. Ryan, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. I do know that you are a busy man with your studies, but you probably have a bit more time on your hands to focus on that now, eh?
Yeah, how's it, Angus? Thanks for having me. Yeah, in the time we are finding ourselves now, I do have a lot of time for myself, but yeah, it's beneficial for the situation I'm at the moment in terms of studying and preparing for exams.
Awesome, man. And I think you have one coming up on the 18th, eh? How's the preparation going for that one?
Yeah, it's good. It's going well. I'm writing next week, as you said. And it's nice to have all this time for myself. In the past, I had like 2-3 hours per day, as I was still busy training for 4 or 5 hours a day. So it's beneficial now in the time we are. I can use this time, especially for my studies.
Awesome, man. Okay, but to the more important things, rugby. So, like I said to you on WhatsApp before, I came across this match day program, and there's number 12 is your name, Ryan Oosthuizen. So you play for Western Province under 19s, the one you've won against the Bulls back then. So where did it actually start for you to be spotted by, I think, Mario Skuman and all the other coaches to actually join the Sevens Academy?
Yeah, so I played all the junior ranks for Western Province under 19 and under 21s. And then after my 21 year, I was playing for the Vodacom Cup team at that time for Western Province. And I was basically stagnating there, not really going anywhere. Of course, I had good centers at that time. And luckily, at one practice, Maurice Kuman and Paul Delport was there, busy watching us. And afterwards, they chatted to me and they said, they have an upcoming tournament in Rome they'd like me to play. And then, yeah, I just grabbed an opportunity. And luckily, everything worked out. At the end of that year, myself, Impie Visser, Zane David, Selvin Davids, all played for Academy, 2016 December. And we did well. We lost in the final. But yeah, that's where everything started for us, basically.
Awesome, man. And you made your debut, your official Blitzbox debut in 2017. It was in Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken. And you've done well since then. You have been a regular starter for the Blitzbox, or a regular in the squad at least. You had your first Cape Town Sevens tournament the year after, the 2017 season. So that was quite awesome for you personally. You've been to a Rugby World Cup. And obviously, the Olympics are on the horizon for you as well. Whatever may happen in future, and we'll get to that later on. But for now, what are the other milestones? The Olympics, and what more do you chase in the near future?
Yeah, I'm very young in terms of rugby, but there's still a lot of rugby ahead for me. So the immediate 2-year future for myself, I'll be staying at the Sevens, playing my trade with them. But goals basically will just be to make that Olympic team next year. We don't know if we're going to play this year again, but if we play this year again, I'll just want to play the best of my abilities. But long-term goals probably just to be able to play in that Olympics. I think it's very special. It's something that only happens once every 4 years. And not a lot of players can and say that they've been at the Olympics, especially representing South Africa. So I think for me, that will be my immediate goal.
Yeah, awesome. And speaking, you said the Olympics is obviously a goal, and we are not sure what the future is, with the pandemic we're having now with COVID-19. So mentally, you guys have obviously said to yourself, okay, this is the plan. We're going to play these tournaments. Basically, we're going to have these tournaments. We're going to get to the Olympics, and that's the whole season set out for you guys in the next year and a half. But now we are in a time where no one expected. I don't think anyone in the world expected us to be sitting right where we are now. So mentally, it could be challenging for you guys. I mean, how do you keep mentally sharp? How do you guys actually make sure that you stay not just fit as a player, and as a squad, but also just keeping the mind occupied, and also making sure that you don't lose hope, or you don't, fall into, and I know mental health is important, maybe fall into some sort of a depression maybe as well.
Yeah, good question. It's not easy, especially as rugby players. Some people do see themselves and identify themselves as only rugby players. And that can be difficult at times when you're not playing. Times like when you're injured, or times like this where it's out of our control. But credit to our management. They they've been doing their best to keep us positive. We have been having regular Zoom meetings, chatting to one another. And also credit to my players. They initiated a program where they chat to us at least 2 times a week. FMB's also come on board. They've been helping us with a program called Financial Fit, which we do every Friday. So they've been keeping us busy. We have a mental coach. We did a mental training as well. So we've been doing stuff off the field, bettering the individual. So that must all credit must go to the management and also to my players for keeping us in check.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And obviously after Olympics, there's a lot of guys who will probably retire. The older ones like Branko and Sissel and those guys, or maybe take up coaching stints and stuff. For you personally, what are your goals, post the Olympic Games? Are there any ambitions to maybe go back to 15s, maybe try out the Super Rugby side, maybe go play in France or anywhere overseas perhaps?
Yeah, I think to play 15 is never out of the question. I really enjoy the game of 15s. I haven't played it in at least 3 or 4 years now, so it will be very foreign for me to go play again. But definitely after these 2 years, I see myself playing either both 15s and 7s, like you see Rossi Speckman, Ruanel, players like that, or either just doing it full time. So I don't know where I'll be after this 2 years, but I see myself definitely playing 15s again just because I enjoyed it so much. It's a different environment to 7s, but yeah, I see myself playing that again.
Okay, cool. And on a tournament front, you guys are probably the luckiest in terms of traveling. You get to see the world, at least 10 countries per year. So apart from Cape Town Sevens, I'm sure the home tournament is a bonus, and obviously an awesome one for you personally. But, apart from Cape Town Sevens, which other tournament do you love playing the most at?
I think every player will say probably his debut. My debut was in Hong Kong, like you said, and that's just an awesome experience to play there. It's probably very close to Cape Town, if not a bit bigger, especially because where it's all started. The crowds are crazy. It's like 45,000 people over 3 days every day. So it's very crazy there. I really enjoy playing at Hong Kong. Like I said, the vibe is crazy. But a special place for me is also London and Paris. I really enjoy the environment there. It's one of my favorite stops, if not the favorite stop on the tour after Cape Town.
Okay, cool. And opposition wise, we've had this nemesis with New Zealand, not just in sevens, but in 15s too. But in sevens especially, I would probably think there are other teams that are also ones that normally challenge you guys and that you love to play against, but also hate to play against. And like we've spoken before, there is no easy team. Which team do you respect the most, and do you also love or hate playing the most against?
Yeah, I can say I love playing against Fiji, but I also hate playing against Fiji because you never know how they can be on the day. They can either be fantastic and it's awesome to watch, but it's also not awesome to play against them when they're playing that well. But given that, it's also nice beating them when they're at the best. So my favorite team would be probably Fiji to play against. We have a good record against them. Our nemesis over the past years has been England, but I think we've overcome that hurdle. I think it was a mental block, and I think we have been beating them over the past few games. But you also get, like you said, it's no easy games on the seventh circuit anymore. Players like or teams like Kenya, up and coming teams, they're really pushing the limits, and you really have to be on top of your game at any given time. So like you said, and I also mentioned earlier, how 2 years ago, I remember when we played Spain, a small rugby playing nation. It's actually a football playing nation. And we had to go into extra time in the quarterfinals in Paris, just to beat them. So there's no easy games, unfortunately. I remember in the past 5 years ago, if you played against a team like that, you were given a win. But in the situation we are now, in the moment where sevens is so popular and the people are improving so much, there's no easy games, and you have to be on top of the game.
That's an ever-growing game, Ryan. And you've mentioned there are no easy teams. I remember like you guys had a draw against Chile not too long ago as well. I think it was 5-all. And you've mentioned Fiji now being your nemesis, but also a team you love playing against. And it's also a team that you love a comeback against. You had 3 comeback stories, and oddly enough, there's something about you guys in a 19-0 deficit scoreline. I'm not sure what it is, but you've done it against Australia, and you've done it twice against Fiji. But okay, with all due respect to the Aussies, like you said, there are no easy teams. Fiji is just so much more, and to do it twice, in 2 separate tournaments. And in one of those, I think the first time you were one of the try scorers in the comeback, when Southern started the drop goal penalty at the end to win 20 points to 19. I think it was in Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken. What was said at halftime? I mean, it's not easy being down by that margin, but it's a game of 2 halves, and you guys have proven it over and over. What was said at halftime by the coaches and the players?
Yeah, exactly like you said. What makes it more special is given how short the game of 7 is, and being 19-0 down with 7 minutes to play is basically impossible. Other teams will just give in. But that's just credit to our management and to our team and the system and culture we have at the Springbok Sevens team. And Coach Neil, it's just a calm source. He will never get, let's say, he never gives up, and that attitude just rubs down to us. I remember when we played Australia in Vancouver 2 years ago, we were also 19-0 down, and he said, "Boys, we just need to get our first kickoff." We did. We were the first team to score. We just built momentum after that, and luckily Dylan Sage went to go score in the right-hand corner at the end, and Branko de Pree slotted the conversion to give us the win. Same happened in Singapore last year. We were 19-0 down, playing against Fiji, which is incredible. So to come back 19 points, we actually beat them 21-19. Which is unfathomable in 4 minutes. And again, credit to Selvin Davids for kicking that conversion at the end. And then again, this year it happened in Los Angeles when we beat Fiji again. So I don't know why we do this. Probably terrible for you guys as viewers because you can do nothing about it. But yeah, that just makes the game of 7 so much more special. And that's why I enjoy it so much. Yeah, other teams would probably just give up. 19 points down. But yeah, like I said, credit to the system we have here at the SA7s. It's a never die attitude we have, and that's why I love it here.
Now, I can tell you one thing, Ryan. It's heart palpitation stuff when you guys do that, eh? Like, I remember that first time you guys did it when you were 19-0 down. Like, I'll be honest, I'm a big fan of you guys. You know this personally, but I thought there's no way in hell they're going to come back from this. Not against Fiji. And you very well did it. So well done on that. But yeah, just one last question before we wrap up. Obviously, like we mentioned, you're quite a young player in your career. But what advice do you have for maybe someone who has maybe played Craven Week or just think about a young boy who want to go pro one day? Any advice for anyone out there who wants to make, be it 7s, 15s, rugby as a whole for their career? What would you tell them, anything that you can take from your personal experiences?
Yeah, it's a good question again. The times have changed a lot since I was in matric and going professional. The time they're finding themselves now at the moment with the under-19 Currie Cup falling away makes it a bit more challenging. I think less and less matrics are getting contracts. I remember when I was in matric, at least like 40 players was signed to one specific union, and now it's maybe 10 if it's that much. So the route they normally do now at the moment is to go play Varsity Cup, get a bursary to play rugby, they pay for your studies, and then through that Varsity Cup platform, you hopefully get a contract by a bigger union as Western Province will sign Maltese players or whatever the case may be. So my advice for players looking to go pro at the moment is just to focus on your studies and use that as a means to further your rugby by playing Varsity Cup. I think Varsity Cup is a massive platform You see players like Eto van der Merwe, Duncan Saul, players that played for Marties and then eventually go play for Western Province and the Stormers. Same as Craig Barry, you can name numerous of players that played for Varsity Cup and then eventually make it pro. So I think it's not impossible to make it. It's just so much more difficult than when I was in matric.
Yeah, times have certainly changed. I'm a big fan of the Varsity Cup competition myself. I'm normally there on a Monday night down in Stellenbosch. It's not too far from my house, and it's certainly around the corner from you guys, at the academy. So do you ever go and catch the odd game, or are you a bit too busy for that, especially with training and studies and all those things?
Yeah, I do enjoy the odd game, watching Varsity Cup. When I was still staying in Stellenbosch, it was basically every time a home game I would go watch. But not staying in Stellenbosch anymore, I don't get the opportunity to watch as much as I would like to. But I do watch it on television. I really love it. If I could go back in time, I would definitely want to play Varsity Cup for Marties or whichever team. I think it's such a good vibe. It's such a experience. It's not as professional and as stressful as what we are playing at the moment. There's not much at stake. So I would definitely want to have done that when I was still a youngster playing.
Yeah, well, at least you made it past that stage, but I get what you're saying there. It's quite a good vibe, and I quite enjoy the whole music blasting and students drinking a good cold one and having a good time and singing Sweet Caroline and all those good stuff. But yeah, thanks again, Ryan, for your time. Really appreciate it. Yeah, maybe next time we can have a one-on-one interview, not over a Zoom meeting, but as for the point in time, we have to stay safe in our homes and make sure everything is fine with ourselves and also our loved ones. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Ryan, again, great to have you. Yeah, I'll be back soon with another video, obviously. And yeah, you guys keep off. Ryan, any other words you want to say?
Yeah, thanks, Angus. Thanks for having me. And just a small message from myself. Just thanks for you guys giving us so much love and support as a Springbok Sevens team. We really do appreciate it. I know, like we said earlier, it's not the most easiest job to support us standing up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning just to watch us. So we really do appreciate it, and it means a lot to us. So thanks for that.
Oh, sure. Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And also, just a shout out to my partners, Fantasy Therapy TV. Also, like just say a thanks to them as well. But yeah, guys, we're out, and I'll talk to you guys soon.